Welcome to the Startin Pixel podcast, the show that explores the creative edge of filmmaking where emerging tech meets storytelling. From AI to virtual production, robotic arms to digital humans, we're here to demystify the tools that are reshaping how moving image content gets made. I'm your host, Rob Chandler, and whether you're a director, producer, or just a curious creative, this is where the tech becomes real. So today we have got Andrea Longo with us, who is going to tell us about some work he's been doing with AI. It's not overly virtual production related, but has an impact, I think, which is one of the reasons why I got him on. Starting Pixel just isn't about virtual production, but it's about how the new technologies and the converging technologies are going to help shape the new world of content production. So, hi, Andrea, how are you?
Hi, Rob. Very well. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
No, do you want to introduce yourself, or maybe in a few words, just to sort of explain a bit of your background and how you ended up being in the world of AI?
Yeah. Well, first, let me say, I started working on the media industry 25 years ago. I has been country manager for Pixel in Italy, and Pixel was a product vendor because we provide content management platform and media and management platform to the media industry. So broadcasters, OTT operators, and so many other players around the industry. Currently, I'm supporting Neodata as senior advisor. Neodata is a company that's born 20 years ago, specifically on, as the word say, data stuff, because they work on ADV mainly, working on big data, data analytics, data intelligence, and everything related, and for sure AI as soon as AI reached the market. In the last 2 years, this company completely changed their strategy, let me say. There's enough ADV and whatever, and they are fully concentrated into develop new use cases, AI-based use cases. Okay. Today we will see one of those because it's absolutely in line with the topic of today. So how AI can support some media process into the market. So
That's going to be really interesting. So, maybe outline first of all what the problem was that this AI thing sort of solves.
oh, well, today there's a lot of players and there's a lot of rumors around AI. Everyone want AI in every condition. The main problem around AI technology is that everyone wants AI, but just if you know what they can do with AI. So we are, I want to say in a very kind way, but there's a lot of ignorance around this. But, this is just question of time. Everything will become more clear in the next years and the next months. So specifically for this use case that we will see today, the problem, let me say, was how can I easily find a specific contents if I have huge archives? So it's typically is the editorial problem, when they need to find maybe some historical clips that has been created years ago, and now they need maybe some part of those clips to mount new contents or create a new pitch or whatever. So it's very important to be effective to do this when
So,
most of the time.
what was the? Sorry, just to jump in. How would you normally do that without AI? Sort of, what would be the process of doing that in the old tech, the old way?
I had a conversation with quite famous, but I can't say who, editorial team in Italy is one of the main broadcasters here, and say, how we find the clips or the specific contents that we are looking for. We base on the memory of the creator. So we need
Right.
someone that remember what they create maybe 2, 3, 5 years ago. So this is the automatic.
That's the system, and then they've got to find it. So they've got to know that it exists, and then B, you've got to be able to find it as well. There was this really good program on the BBC, must have been 10 years ago now at least, and it talked about archival of still photography, still pictures, and there are just millions and millions and millions of these things. And the part of it, and it was just one archive, right? And so I think someone got left it in a will or something. And it went on for rooms and rooms. And as you say, it was down to the curator. And the curator knew exactly who you were talking about and could go and find, a picture of this person or that person, and in a particular, in front of a particular building or in a particular car or with someone else, which is brilliant if you're that person. But at some point, they're no longer with us, right?
Correct. It's a memory-based system. It's not very robust, let me say, in terms of business or in any case
Right.
for the internal processes. But now the
Uh,
technologies can support us in this, so it's very important.
Yeah. So just one other question, sort of, is explain a little bit about like a really typical scenario. Like if you were explaining it to me, which you are, where a broadcaster would need to know this snip, and what are the time frames that they normally play to as well? In this requirement.
Well, depends on the specific need. Yeah, I give you this example of a news show. Is a talk show. Let me say.
Right. Okay.
Because most of the talk shows address political stuff, political topics, they really create the contents maybe half an hour before the live show. So the time frame is incredible, very stretched, and they have to be very effective to create something at the last time. So maybe if something happened just 1 hour ago, they need to have something to show because news are news and you cannot stay behind the others. So in this way, there's a lot of there's a big team that work 24 hours per day that need to prepare all the possible scenarios or what could happen to tomorrow and why we have to be
Right.
prepared. So it's very difficult. Very
So if
difficult.
someone, yeah, no, I imagine. So if I'm just saying a royal baby was born, right? You'd want to find pictures of the young couple and maybe the
Correct.
father or the father or the mother who maybe were babies at one stage. You want to find some reference just to be able to talk about it.
Correct.
That's the type of thing. But it could be absolutely anything from, from the Pope being, becoming Pope. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Excuse my ignorance, or some other political stuff, or some sort of disaster, but some happiness. All of those things, they come to life with those imageries or those video snips, right? Brilliant. Okay.
Typical application that I heard from this guy was imagine a politics that say something. That politics say, "Oh, I agree with the I don't know nuclear energy. I'm in favor of nuclear energy." But the opposition wants to find when that politics was against the same. So it could
Okay.
completely opposite opinion, maybe 1 year before. So they want to show the change of mind, the change of opinion in a short time. So they need to find exactly
Right.
when this happened and to build the amount in your
Right.
clip.
Right. So a bit like fact checking. Yeah. So you're checking
Correct.
someone's facts, right? It's like, okay, but hold on. Wasn't it last year? No, I didn't say that. And literally you could like tippy tap and then you've got this video snip
Correct.
of someone doing it. Oh dear. Who wants to be a politician, right? I mean, that would be mad.
I
Okay,
will
so
show you something about that. I
yeah,
have a
yeah.
specific case to show you about that.
Brilliant. Cool. That's okay. Well then, okay, so that's the sort of problem, all that scenario. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about actually, how AI can help with that.
Yeah. Well, today I will present to you. This is not a product, to be honest. It's let me say a framework, or it's a sort of solution that where Metadata is working on and was born around 6 months ago. That is, very, as I said before, it's very specialized in working on data. They are not currently product vendor. And so you will not see a huge UI or something like that. But consider that 80% of the new data team is composed by data scientists. So that type of guys are working behind what I will show you. So what this solution does is the smart video tagging solution. So consider to have a large archive with a lot of minutes or hours of films or video, whatever you have, audio also, for sure. Okay. And what the system does is to analyze the contents and create the smart tagging automatically for sure, not only on what is showing on a specific frame, but going deeply into sentiment analysis, recognizing celebrities, recognize audio context. And so at the end, you have, and I will show you, you have a very clear explanation of what is going on in your video, keyframe per keyframe.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
if the movie, so if it, yeah, so if the video changes and somebody else comes into it, there's a
absolutely
you can work out what part of that video, whoever the celebrity appears. Got you.
correct.
Okay. Wow.
Correct.
And how does that?
Exactly.
Can I? Sorry, just so in my experience, it is called metadata, right? It's like attaching. Typically that would be a picture or videos, and it attaches the camera and the lens maybe, and the type of film that was used. So it's that, but it's for every single frame, but it's also looking inside it as well and analyzing it, attaching that data to it
Yeah.
as well. Okay.
I just spent another couple of words, and then probably the best is to show you something live.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
just tell you what this system allowed to do. Okay, for sure you can perform once the process has ended. So the initial there's an initial phase where the videos are processed. Sorry, and so
Processed.
everything is processed. Okay, and so everything is ready, and the AI completed the first frame tagging. Okay. When this is completed, this is a background process. You don't see it for sure, and has been already done in this demo that I will show you. You can perform advanced video search, okay, within the content. You can perform smart archiving because you have a very modular description of each frame.
Right.
You can imagine you can support visual press reviews because you can go deeply into the specific part of the videos. You can also join this with a sentiment analysis engine that already developed, so you can correlate the specific part of the video or the clip with the sentiment analysis performed on video comments on social, for example. So I see
Okay.
people that say, "Oh, I didn't like Rob because Rob in that moment say something that I don't agree at all." So okay,
Okay.
where this happened? When this happened, I can go on Neovid and looking for the specific part where this comment that generate this comment. This is particularly important for the politicians, for example.
Right.
And you can extract high quality video image from the videos or images from the video. So, and you can also monetize them. That's another application. And you can then looking for specific elements like brands, products, signs. You can look for
Right.
specific celebrities, people. So I want to see every chance where Rob appeared. So I can perform even this type of result. But let me
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, show us. This sounds
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. It's the best. Okay.
Right.
Okay. For sure, this is the demo. So forget how many contents are loaded on the system. There
Sure.
are just a few, but this is an example. In this case, is in English. So even the tagging that you will see is in English. And then I will show something more different in the sports area. So that would be in Italian, but independently from the language that has been chosen, tag the specific frames, the usage of the solution, so the search engine works with every language. So it's
Okay.
independent. I show you an example. Okay.
Okay.
Here you can see some video that has been loaded on the system. If we go into one example, okay, I can play it. Okay. But specifically, I show you an example. Okay, here, this is a part of this clip. I start from the time frame 3 seconds, okay? And you can start seeing that there is the
The meta.
metadata.
So let me just quickly explain to the people who are listening to audio a bit. So the screens come up and we're watching a video. It's a single camera video, and assuming it's a politician presenting to the sort of to the camera, but he's obviously presenting to an auditorium with people on it. And along the bottom, there's some timestamps that it looks like you can jump backwards and forwards. And then on the right hand side, there's frame information. So every single frame has that, and skipping forward a frame, there's a timestamp, number of people that are in it, and then a description. Yeah, that's what we're looking at the moment. Cool.
Correct. Correct. Thank you for the explanation.
That's okay.
So this is in a way to see how the engine works and what it produces in terms of metadata. Okay, but jumping back to the video, the main features stay on the research engine that we can see here. For example, here I already tried with this query. So show me the audience reaction when Zelensky speaks. Is an example. We can use many different examples.
Okay, so that's just there's a search query you've basically put in right into a search box.
Correct. In this here, for sure, you can see all the videos, the part of the video where the reaction of the people after Zelensky's speech. So, and
Okay,
then I can see the specific video for sure, and
got you.
verify the correct answer from the
Right.
system.
So just to explain, this is Zelensky. He's done a presentation. I'm assuming at the EU, and you asked for it to show. You put in the search content, show me a reaction shot. That found a frame which you then can play, and that's sort of what you heard there was some people reacting, and it was the crowd shot, I guess, or the auditorium shot of the members of the Commons, Parliament. Thank you.
And okay, so consider the content that we have here, for example, because I know for sure the content that are loaded. For example, say, can ask for show me the handshake between Meloni and von der Leyen. Okay.
Okay, so you've typed in a query which is show me the handshake between Maloney and
Ursula von der Leyen.
yes,
And you see
and
here
one frame's come up, yep, and it is you
exactly
click on it, literally it's that handshake, which is that's amazing, and it was instant. It wasn't very long, and it's telling us what frame it is, and it's telling us there's some metadata underneath it, and then you can either view the video or you can download the frame.
Correct.
Which is given the option.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
And another interesting example is this. Show me the discrepancy in opinions on climate change.
So show me the discrepancies in climate change.
So as you can imagine, this is not an analysis on the video specifically, but is on the speech of the single politician.
Right.
So if I search for this is
So you click search.
Okay.
And so that's a few seconds, and then we've got two videos that have come up.
Correct. Let's check the first one. This politician, no, man, honestly, who it is Martin Hosik. Okay. Apologize for that, I don't know.
That's fine.
Okay. Using for, let me say, to address climate change is absolutely in favor of climate change. We have to be, very careful about that. We are worried about climate change, and we have to work all together in order to reduce the impact for about it.
Right.
If we look at the second one, okay, he is completely more on the reintroducing of nuclear power. Is more, to leave the Green Deal. He is more on the Trump, let me say.
Yeah. So Andrea is just reading out the metadata that's underneath the pictures for the listeners there. So, and that's by literally putting that query in to show two opposing speeches, and literally it came up in a few seconds. Wow,
and
that's pretty cool.
And for sure, I can say the same, but I can write in Italian the same query, and the results will be the same. So the translation is automatically. To jump to a different example, so in Italy we are mad of football, and you can imagine.
Most people.
In this case, the videos are in tagged in Italian, so you can see here. But this is a good example to test again in English. Okay, so I don't know.
Okay.
Show me where I can see Volvo brand.
Okay. So show me where I can see Volvo brand. Right. Okay. In
Okay,
English,
in
in
English,
an
exactly.
Italian snippet. Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
The description here, and you can see there's a Volvo
Yeah.
XC40 okay, is in Italian.
Right. Yeah. So in the background, so everyone can see there's a still image of a video, and along the pitch side hoardings, they're called. I don't know what they are in Italian. It says Volvo XD40 recharge plug-in hybrid.
Exactly.
Right. So it's been able to find that from what you plugged, and that is that is that search the metadata, or does that look for it on the fly? So has that description picked up already that Volvo was already in that frame, or
Mhm.
when you ask the query, does it try and find it? Does that make sense?
No, it looks into this all the metadata, and
Right. So
yeah,
it's right,
let me say the hard work is to have an exhaustive description of specific frame.
right,
Once
right.
this is done, and we are also working to introduce new features, then I will tell you something about that. But once it's done, the engine just use the LLM mechanism to understand the question and looking into the
Right.
metadata to
Got you.
find the data. The AI during the searching is to understand your question because you can write in many different ways. It
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's natural language model.
Right.
Um,
Understood. Right.
is not a problem. In this case, we used to find a brand. You can for sure say, "Oh, I wanna see a Lautaro goal." I don't know. I just try.
Okay. He's a football player, I imagine, or soccer
Yeah,
player.
like, and
Cool.
I also made a mistake. I wrote once to a typo here,
Okay.
but it understood me. Say okay, and this is Lautaro after the goal. We can see the
Right.
video.
Watch the video.
Exactly. Okay,
Right.
so
Got you.
it's very like a ChatGPT in this part, but the main works, as I told you before,
It's already been
is
done.
to create, yeah, exactly, because the
Right.
system is now we are working on a pre-processing engine that will analyze all the videos that are loaded into the archive in order to establish the frequency of the keyframes, because this has a
Okay.
direct impact on the cost of the system.
Yes. Twice as many frames, twice as storage, right? Yeah.
But
Got
in
you.
any case, it's not a very expensive system for sure. Bigger
Right.
is the archive, bigger are the
Yeah.
costs. That's for
Yeah. Yeah.
just to show you something in live. You can imagine we can try many different queries.
Sure. No, no, absolutely understood that. I think the interesting thing actually, when we first spoke about this, the thing that struck me because of come more from a film background, even though it's
Yeah.
not really worked in it very long, it did strike me that this could also be invaluable for an editor, because one of the big things that editors have to do, or DITs, is to take all of the imagery
Mhm.
or the photography gets taken, and then spend quite a lot of time putting it into organizing it, and that could be, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of hours of film, right, to be able to edit it down to 120 minutes. But it all has to be organized very, this shot, and everything has its own file structure, etc., etc. And of course, then you have these, you have callbacks, which is when you
Mhm.
have to either reshoot something, or we didn't get the reverse shot of Rob talking to Andrea. Oh, we're going to have to reshoot that one. Whereas
Mhm.
it might have already been done, or the other thing is that you might be able to find it before you need it as well. That's sort
Mhm.
of the thing that struck me. Rather than going, oh, we need it here. You might be able to actually do it almost on set, right? I mean, that's what I was thinking. Is like you could start asking queries about the footage you've already taken and start to build up
Mhm.
an understanding of what might be missing as well, which I thought was really a big possibility.
Well, another very useful application, but I just think now is in the documentaries, the nature documentaries. They many time the publishers ask to, I don't know, have that specific picture of that animal in that environment with that lights and so on. So, so the biggest, like National Geographic or many other, they have huge archive of those type of pictures. They spend a lot of time looking for that specific, though they already have archive indexed archive now, but this is very useful for those that need to perform frequently searches.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And I imagine it will, I wonder if it can open the door also to be able to understand the shots that you haven't got and or finding shots that have somebody's used somewhere else without permission. Is it able to do that as well, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. And also now we are working on algorithms that are able to recognize temporal changes in the chains. So currently the system creates a very good description of the single keyframe, as I told before, but is not performing a temporal change analysis. So what changes from this situation to another one? And we are working now to develop these algorithms that will work on these changes. So, for example, I will ask to the system, show me the moment when it started to rain. So, because at the beginning
Okay,
it was not raining, and then I'm in the middle of a storm.
right.
But show me
Wow,
exactly when it starts raining.
right.
You know?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yes, yeah, no, that's mind-bogglingly interesting. Great, isn't it? Wow.
And the last news will be currently we perform a technical and quality analysis of the images, so of the frame that we can extract, because as I show you, you can save the specific image. Okay. But we want to perform also a photographic quality check. For example, if you have a closed eye or whatever, I don't want that frame. Please take the next one or the best in that range. So you can extract a very good picture from the technical point of view, but also from the photographic point of view.
You. Okay. Wow. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. And so what else, other uses are there for it as well?
Yeah, sorry, can you?
What other sectors, what other
Oh, yeah.
industries have you?
Oh, we are considering many different application industries. So for sure that we talk about the politics or the public sector or the institutions, because it's very useful also to uh, analyze and improve the way that people communicate. This is doing by, as I said before, considering the sentiment analysis of the reaction of the people on the social, typically on the social. So you can imagine, I don't know, a European Parliament, there's a 1 hour speech, and people start saying, "Oh, I don't like this, I'm against that," and so on. So at the end, you say, okay, something is not going the right direction, because on social, we recognize there's a lot of rumors around this and the people is
Right.
upset and so on. Again, I can check and I can support the political to say, okay, maybe you have to improve the communication on this topic because the
Right.
people are not understanding you, or maybe you are communicating the wrong way. So this
Can
is
that be done live? As in, if someone had an earpiece in.
now, no. But
Okay.
maybe near real time, it
Right.
depends on what we intend for near.
Right.
Currently, depends also on the infrastructure you want
Right.
to use. This
Because
is
okay.
a matter of cost and so on, because AI is very consuming in terms of CPU
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah, and
GPU.
it can hallucinate as well. So you wouldn't want it necessarily to be telling you something that isn't quite right, right? Either.
But other application could stay also on the education and learning areas. For example, you can imagine how many content they have, and maybe you need to look into specific contents because you are looking for specific argument and want to create a new course or new training or whatever. And so you can extract, from existing archives, specific clips, and mount a new content, for example. Or you can create briefings, collaterals, or whatever, thanks to the fact that you are very fast to to find what you need. Or the same similar application could stay in the legal or compliance sector,
Yeah.
because you can see for videos where specific, so you can see specific contents for policy and copyright violation. You can looking for, specific, let me say, e-discovery for litigation. So you are looking for specific part where, I don't know, some legal stuff has not been respected or something like that.
Right. Wow.
Security is the same. You can imagine the video security, body cams, everything
Yeah.
is a source
Yes.
for.
Wow. Yeah, that's the scary part. Hey, it's like all those kinds of things. Wow. That sounds really, really, really good. What else are you up to at the moment? Anything else you're in
Oh,
doing?
no, currently we are in the, well, as you see, we are very passionate. We love to continue working on this. This is just one of the solutions we have on the
Right.
table, but we want to improve and to stress the AI in order to get the best value from this technology on real cases, real use cases. So we are talking with many players around the market in order to also understand the needs. So what we are used to say is AI is more a need searcher rather than a solution.
Right. Yeah.
Because when you talk with someone, say, "Oh, but I would love to see this. I would love to use it in this way. I need this," and then we start working with the companies trying to find the solutions. But at the beginning, we need problems. We find problems. You're
Andrea,
welcome.
that was amazing. Again, so it would be great to have you on again at some point in time when you sort of got some other products to show or some demos to show and how it all develops as well. That'd be great.
Would be a pleasure. We will do.
Cool. All right then. Well, you have a brilliant evening and a great weekend.
You too, Rob. Thank you for the
All right.
invitation. Bye bye. See you. Cheers.